welcome back to Friday Reads, where we help you find your next read. I'm Jill.
And I'm Julie. And this week we are doing picks from Reese Witherspoon. These are Reese's book club picks, and I learned when I looked into this that she picks books with a woman at the center of the story. There's not a formula to the books they pick, and they like it that way. So I'll turn it over to Jill to see what her first pick is.
So the first one I have is The Cactus by Sarah Haywood. This is an unforgettable love story that shows sometimes you have to embrace the unexpected. Susan Green is like a cactus. You can't get too close. She likes things perfectly ordered and predictable. No surprises, but suddenly confronted with the loss of her mother and the unexpected news that she is about to become a mother herself, Susan's greatest fear is realized. She's losing control. Enter Rob, the dubious but well-meaning friend of her indolent brother. As Susan's due date draws near and her dismantled world falls further into a tailspin, Susan finds an unlikely ally in Rob. She might have a chance at finding real love and learning to love herself, if only she can figure out how to let go. So, not a very complicated plot, but...
All right, and my first pick is The Christie Affair. This was published this year in 2022. This is by Nina Day Gramont. In 1925, Miss Nan O'Day infiltrated the wealthy, rarefied world of author Agatha Christie and her husband Archie. In every way, she became a part of their life. First, both Christies, then just Archie. Soon, Nan became Archie's mistress, luring him away from his devoted wife, desperate to marry him. Nan's plot didn't begin the day she met Archie and Agatha, though. It began decades before, in Ireland, when Nan was a young girl. She and the man she loved were a star-crossed couple who were destined to be together until the Great War. A pandemic and shameful secrets tore them apart. Then acts of unspeakable cruelty kept them separated. What drives someone to murder? What will someone do in the name of love? What kind of crime can someone never forgive? This author's brilliant, unforgettable novel explores these questions and more. Reese Witherspoon said, "True crime aficionados, this book is for you." This novel covers the 11 days in 1926 when famed novelist Agatha Christie went missing. That's right, an unexpected mix of historical fiction and romance, heartbreak and revenge based on true happenings. But here's the twist. It's told through the perspective of her husband's mistress. Reese Witherspoon said she found herself binging this book in one sitting and thought, everyone would enjoy this pick, so check out The Christie Affair, a mix of historical fiction, romance, heartbreak, and revenge.
Wow, that one's got some meat to it. My next pick is The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. It is a perfect July morning, and Elle, a 50-year-old happily married mother of 3, awakens at the Paper Palace, the family's summer place, which she has visited every summer of her life. But this morning is different. Last night, Elle and her oldest friend Jonas crept out the back door into the darkness and had sex with each other for the first time, while their spouses chatted away outside. Now, over the next 24 hours, Elle will have to decide between the life she has made with her genuinely beloved husband Peter and the life she always imagined she would have with her childhood love Jonas. In a tragic event hadn't changed forever to change their lives, so... Yeah, and the one thing, I read this book, and the one thing I do remember is the palace. Like, the place is actually made of paper. Mm-hmm. It's very good.
I read that one. That was okay. Next one of mine is also published this year. This is Honor by 3D Umbergard, and this one had a 4.42 rating on Goodreads.
Wow.
So, haven't read it, but... In this riveting and immersive novel, the best-selling author tells the story of two couples and the sometimes dangerous and heartbreaking challenges of love across a cultural divide. Indian-American journalist Smita has returned to India to cover a story, but reluctantly. Long ago, she and her family left the country with no intention of ever coming back. As she follows the case of Meena, a Hindu woman attacked by members of her own village and her own family for marrying a Muslim man, she comes face to face with a society where tradition carries more weight than one's own heart, and a story that threatens to unearth the painful secrets of her own past. While Meena's fate hangs in the balance, Smita tries in every way she can to right the scales. She also finds herself increasingly drawn to Mohan, an Indian man she meets while on assignment. But the dual love stories in Honor are as different as the cultures Amina and Smita find themselves. Smita realizes she has the freedom to enter into a casual affair, knowing she can decide later how much it means to her. In this tender and evocative novel about love, hope, familial devotion, betrayal, and sacrifice, this author shows us two courageous women trying to navigate how to be true to their homelands and to themselves at the same time. Reese Witherspoon said, "This is a complex and unfiltered cast of characters. These are the type of characters that stick with you long after you turn the pages."
Well, she might have all female characters, but I think she does have a lot of diversity in it. So this is LA Weather by Maria Amparo Escadon. And this is storm clouds are on the horizon of this fun, fast-paced novel of an affluent Mexican-American family. So, LA is parched, dry as bone, and all Oscar, the weather-obsessed patriarch of the Alvarado family, desperately wants is a little rain. He's harboring a costly secret that distracts him from everything else. His wife, Keela, desperate for a life with little more intimacy and a little less Weather Channel, feels she has no choice but to end their marriage. Their three daughters, Claudia, a television chef with a hard-hearted attitude, Olivia, a successful architect who suffers from gentrification guilt, and Patricia, a social media wizard who has an uncanny knack for connecting with audience but not with her lovers, are blindsided and left questioning everything they know. Each will have to take a critical look at her own relationships and make some tough decisions along the way. With quick wit and humor, Maria Amparo Escadon follows the Alvarado family as they wrestle with impending evacuations, secrets, deception, betrayal, and the toughest decision yet, whether to stick together or burn it all down. So, yeah, it sounds like L.A.
My next pick is my only YA pick of the day, and Reese Witherspoon said, "Get ready for a heartfelt adventure with this YA pick." Izumi Tanaka has never really felt like she fit in. It isn't easy being Japanese American in her small, mostly white Northern California town. Raised by a single mother, it's always been Izumi or Izzy because it's easier this way, and her mom against the world. But then Izzy discovers a clue to her previously unknown father's identity, and he's none other than the Crown Prince of Japan, which means outspoken, irreverent Izzy is literally a princess. In a whirlwind, Izzy travels to Japan to meet the father she never knew and discover the country she always dreamed of. But being a princess isn't all ball gowns and tiaras. There are conniving cousins, a hungry press, a scowling but handsome bodyguard who just might be her soulmate, and thousands of years of tradition and customs to learn practically overnight. Izzy soon finds herself caught between worlds and between versions of herself. Back home, she was never American enough, and in Japan, she must prove that she's Japanese enough. Will Izzy crumble under the weight of the crown? Or will she live out her fairy tale happily ever after? So if this sounds intriguing, check out the book Tokyo Ever After by Emiko Jean, published in 2021. A YA pick.
My next pick is a nonfiction. She has nonfiction on her list. This is Fair Play, a game-changing solution for when you have too much to do and more life to live by Eve Rodsky. And this is... it looks at the unpaid, invisible work that women have shouldered unfairly for too long. So I think it sounds like a little interesting to me. It started with the shit I do list. Tired of being the she-fault parent responsible for all aspects of her busy household, Eve Rodsky counted up all the unpaid, invisible work she was doing for her family, and then sent the list to her husband, asking for things to change. His response was underwhelming. Rodsky realized that she simply identifying the issue of unequal labor on the home front wasn't enough. She needed a solution to this universal problem. Her sanity, identity, career, and marriage depended on it. The result is Fair Play, a time and anxiety-saving system that offers couples a completely new way to divvy up domestic responsibilities. Rodsky interviewed more than 500 men and women from all walks of life to figure out what the invisible work of a family actually entails and how to get it all done efficiently. With 4 easy-to-follow rules, 100 household tasks, and a figurative card game you play with your partner, Fair Play helps you prioritize what's important to your family and who should take the lead of every chore from laundry to homework to dinner. Winning this game means rebalancing your home life, igniting your relationship and the significant other, and reclaiming your unicorn space, as in the time to develop the skills and passions that keep you interested and interesting. So are you ready for Fair Play? I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, good pick. My fourth pick, another fiction pick. This is Northern Spy by Flynn Berry. This was published in 2021. This is the acclaimed author of Under the Harrow and A Double Life. And this author returns with her most thrilling novel to date, the story of two sisters who become entangled with the IRA. A producer at the Belfast Bureau of the BBC, Tessa is at work one day when the news of another raid comes on the air. The IRA may have gone underground after the Good Friday Agreement, but they never really went away. And lately, bomb threats, arms drops, and helicopters floating ominously over the city have become features of her everyday life. As the anchor requests the public's help in locating those responsible for this latest raid, a robbery at a gas station, Tessa's sister appears on the screen. Tessa watches in shock as Marion pulls a black mask over her face. The police believe Marion has joined the IRA, but Tessa knows this is impossible. They were raised to oppose republicanism and the violence enacted in its name. They've attended peace vigils together, and besides, Marion is vacationing by the sea. Tessa just spoke to her yesterday. When the truth of what has happened to Marion reveals itself, Tessa will be forced to choose between her ideals and her family, between bystanderism and action. Walking an increasingly perilous road, she fears nothing more than endangering the one person she loves more fiercely than her sister, her infant son. Reese Witherspoon said, calling all self-proclaimed detectives, if you love a mystery, then you'll devour this pick. Set in Northern Ireland, it explores a world of secrets and lies that tear two sisters apart. Following a pitfall with the IRA, one sister is framed for espionage, while the other is forced to choose between protecting her loved ones or facing unimaginable consequences. She loved this thrill ride of a book, especially the twist that she didn't see coming. Sisterhood, motherhood, and espionage, all in one book. So, Northern Spy by Flynn Berry.
So my next one, I don't think this author needs Reese Witherspoon to boost herself because she's pretty popular for thriller lovers. The Last House Guest by Megan Miranda. The summer after a wealthy young summer guest dies under suspicious circumstances, her best friend lives under a cloud of grief and suspicion. Happens in Littleport, Maine. Has always felt like two separate towns, an ideal vacation enclave for the wealthy, whose summer homes line the coastline, and a simple harbor community for year-round residents whose livelihoods rely on service to the visitors. Typically, fierce friendships never develop between a local and a summer girl, but that's just what happens when visitors Sadie Lodeman and Littleport resident Avery Greer. Each summer for almost a decade, the girls are inseparable until Sadie is found dead. While the police rule the death a suicide, Avery can't help but feel there are those in the community, including a local detective and Sadie's brother Parker, who blame her. Someone knows more than they're saying, and Avery is intent on clearing her name. But before the facts get twisted again on her. The Last House Guest is a smart, twisty read and brilliantly explores the elusive nature of memory and the complexities of female relationships. So, yeah.
I haven't read that one. I've read a couple of her books. My last pick is also fiction, and this is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, and this was published in 2021. Brooklynite Eva Mercy is a single mom and a best-selling erotica writer who is feeling pressed from all sides. Shane Hall is a reclusive, enigmatic, award-winning literary author who, to everyone's surprise, shows up in New York. When Shane and Eva meet unexpectedly at a literary event, sparks fly, raising not only their past buried traumas, but the eyebrows of New York's black literati. What no one knows is that 20 years earlier, teenage Eva and Shane spent one crazy, torrid week madly in love. They may be pretending that everything is fine now, but they can't deny that chemistry or the fact that they've been secretly writing to each other in their books ever since. Over the next 7 days, in the middle of a steamy Brooklyn summer, Eva and Shane reconnect, but Eva's not sure how she can trust the man who broke her heart, and she needs to get him out of New York so that her life can return to normal. But before Shane disappears again, there are a few questions she needs answered. Reese said, how about a sexy modern love story? With this pick, the author writes with great humor and complexity about a myriad of topics, including the trappings of success, single parenting a teenage daughter, living with chronic, indescribable pain, and how to deal with a history of mental illness and addiction. So this book sounds like it has a lot. It had a 4.09 rating on Goodreads. So 7 Days in June by Tia Williams.
Well, we hope that we helped you find something good to read. And, if you like these books, Reese Witherspoon picks a new book like every month. So there's a lot on her list.
Yeah, and they're easy to find. These were all on our shelves here at the library. I know that she also picked like Where the Crawdads Sing and some of those. So she picked some very good books, I think. So we thought it would be fun to feature some of the ones in her book club this week. Thank you for watching us. You can find us on the Facebook page. It's getting a little trickier to find our videos, I think. They don't always appear unless you see them on the feed. So Facebook's always changing. You can also connect to them from our Kimberly Public Library website. Jill puts a link up where you can connect to our YouTube channel and watch them on there. So like, comment, share. We'd love to hear from you. We said last week we haven't been getting a lot of comments about what you're reading. So let us know what you're reading this fall. And until next time, we thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Bye.